Mm-hmm. 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 Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.
Welcome back to the most mediocre podcast in the world. I am Justin, and this is Mike, and this is Najee.
Friend of the show.
What up, dog?
What up? How you doing?
Oh, you know, I'm all right. What's going on with the blacks, dude? What's going on in the black community?
Man, the black community is it's in shambles. You know what I have been seeing though
Tell me.
that I love? So do you remember
Kanye's beliefs.
Oh fuck, we definitely gotta talk about that.
Of course.
But do you remember like Andrew Schultz getting under ridicule for what he said? The black Schultz?
And with the black woman thing?
Yes.
I remember Kendrick mentioning it and it becoming a big thing.
Uh-huh.
So for Andrew Schultz, comedian, he was doing jokes about everyone, which he does. And I guess he did jokes about black women.
So
I didn't
he was
even hear
on,
the specific.
Okay, so he was on his own podcast, Flaking 2, and they were talking about dating, and I guess the two people they had on, there's two black men, they're like from London.
Oh, they're fresh and fit guys.
No, they're not.
Oh, okay.
It's called Shits and Giggles,
Oh.
real big, and like their main
I know who you're
listeners
talking
are
about.
female, like black female listeners, and
And they're black.
they're black, and they were talking about dating and the black woman experience, and Schultz made like an off joke about like get beat or something like that, or is it being very annoyed, some shit like just off the top of the head.
Yeah.
He even admits it wasn't funny, but it
Right.
was just like he was riffing.
Yeah.
I guess it got caught, clipped up. Schultz is a racist. This is how he really feels. Yada yada yada. So he was like getting canceled. You know, Schultz. He's just like, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah.
And then Kendrick ended up addressing it on one of his songs, and then it blew back up.
Right.
So then,
Which is low key what Schultz wants.
right?
Like, just keep talking.
Yeah.
Like, you're not affecting
so
him.
it was like this big thing, and people were trying, defending comedy. Hey, even if it's not funny, jokes are jokes.
You gotta try.
You gotta let comedians shoot. And some people were like, no, like this is damaging. They had low hanging fruit, blah 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 blah. What Schultz has been doing is going to those podcasts that address him and sitting down and talking to him, which I think is dope, because he could have easily done what anybody does when like the left or like this group tries to cancel you. You go on these right podcasts and you lean in, and you're kind of like.
So it's these progressive podcasts that are like trying to label him as a racist. He just want to talk to them.
Yes, I wouldn't even necessarily say progressive, just like the Breakfast Club,
Right.
Shannon Sharp, black media basically,
Mm-hmm.
and sit down and shit, like talking to shit. And I'll read the comments and be like, I don't like dude, but for him to come across the aisle, at least try to explain himself is
Yeah.
what I mean,
Well,
admirable.
I think that when you know that your intentions are pure, it feels way safer to do, right? Because
Yeah.
you're going over there going like, I know that I didn't mean anything bad.
And the energy,
It could sound
right,
bad, but this is
exactly.
I know what
And
my
that's-
beliefs are.
He was on The Pivot, which Ryan Clark did like a 15-minute monologue about Schultz and this joke and blah blah blah. And Schultz like texted him, and he pulled up for his podcast, and they talked. It was like an hour and a half conversation. And it was dope.
A good convo.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
about like their point of views about it, and Schultz just basically saying like, like this is the intentions of my comedy is not to make someone upset, it's to get the laugh. And if I don't get the laugh, I think I still deserve to be able to shoot for the laugh. That's the art.
Well,
I'm like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's just like
you can't hit everyone out of the park, you know.
right. But they were just talking about intention versus impact, and it was like a good.
And it could be
conversation.
both, right? It can be like your intentions are pure, and you've also hurt people, and it's damaging, right? It's like so,
Right.
it's not one or the other.
Because I remember like on old Reddit was like, comedians should be able to say what they want with like because of
Impunity.
community. Yeah, and it's almost like what he was saying is like that's not true. Like you're allowed to feel how you feel, offended, mad, whatever about the joke. You're allowed to feel that way, but just know what my intentions were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that
Right.
impacted you
Your
in that
feelings
way,
are
that's
valid.
also my fault, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to make the world smell. It was just like a dope conversation to hear.
Dude, how many things could be solved with like a quick conversation
Yeah.
rather than like just posturing and like,
Well, that's what he
third
said.
party.
He's like, a lot of these conversations it feels like two people trying to dunk on each other.
Right.
And that never gets anything done.
Yep.
He's like, if we're going to sit down and have an honest conversation, that's how,
Yeah, it's not like who won.
change happens or understanding happens.
Yeah.
And then to see that reflect in the comments, because usually the comments are like a crazy
Cesspool,
place,
yeah.
cesspool. For people, everybody to just be like, wow, like, that was dope. Like, this is what we need. I was like, a little hope for humanity.
A little bit.
A little hope.
What the fuck's a cesspool even? I know how to use it in a sentence. I just don't know what it is.
Look it up.
I know it's like
Jamie?
something gross, like or something.
I think
vile.
it's like infected. I feel like think of like feces and like
cesspool. Fucked up.
Cesspit, cesspool, and soak pit, in some contexts,
Soak pit's Mormon, no?
are terms with various meanings. They are used to describe either an underground holding tank sealed at the bottom or a soak pit not sealed at the bottom. A cesspit can be used for the temporary collection of and storage of feces, excreta, and fecal sludge as a part of an on-site sanitation.
Wow.
So typically something that holds something gross.
Brass rail at 1 o'clock.
New Jersey.
Specific smell.
New Jersey. That was
Just
It has a
kidding.
specific smell to it. You can't ever forget. You know.
If if Baltimore had a rap song to describe it, what do you think they're
Fentanyl.
okay? What song is like representative of Baltimore? Do you think?
Bird flu.
Okay.
I mean, you mean from like?
I'm just saying, like I think that's like our national, like our Baltimore anthem.
It would have to be bird flu.
And the reason why, and I was because they were talking on a podcast I was listening to, they were talking about each state. Like,
maybe fuck is you dumb.
Like what their song is, and I just feel like Baltimore is bird flu, and like
Did they give? Baltimore
I think it's
something
Maryland. I personally think it's Maryland itself.
different? What else is in Maryland, rap wise?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's some rappers,
Logic?
but you wouldn't even.
Logic
I
was
would
from
say like
Montgomery
of
County.
all time, like you got some like club songs that maybe would go off.
True, yeah, that's stuff I wouldn't know probably.
Right.
There's probably some go-go shit, some
yeah.
dance.
Nah, I feel like that's more DC.
It is DC, but
But
the
like
Baltimore
I
has
know
the-
what you. Yeah, but I feel like the reason why I say bird flu is because like you can hear that at the Maryland Terps game. Like you can go to College Park and hear bird flu. Like their Instagram is posting bird flu. Like if that shit comes on outside of the Pickles, everyone is singing it. I just
we had
feel like
Croatia lit.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's just it's a horrible song for
It's
it to be,
horrible.
but I just feel like it's like an anthem that it's bigger than even the lyrics.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
I would agree. That's probably our age group too, though.
That's true.
Young kids probably
Yeah,
don't even know what
I guess
the
your
fuck
mom
that
wouldn't
is.
say that.
No. My mom's more boss man.
What song is this?
It's called rest in peace, Lil Scooter. It's called Bird Flu, and it's a song about selling drugs, but it's kind of specific to Baltimore.
It's definitely specific.
You
to
know what I mean?
Baltimore.
Even like the way he's saying things, it's like the Baltimore lingo.
Well, and he started even this like the slang for the drugs is Baltimore stuff, scramble. You
Yeah.
know, so it's very Baltimore, and then the accent is so heavy, and that's just so the ooze. Anytime they say ooh, to you, so the whole time he's singing about bird flu, and every time you hear that hard, that
Bird flu.
bird flu, yeah, it's pretty wonderful.
Yeah,
I went and seen not Kevin Hart. I keep doing that.
Cat Williams.
I went and seen Cat Williams this last week.
Was it okay? Was he working out something, or was it like a set? What do you think?
It was at an arena,
Okay,
so you'd think,
he would be. It'd be a set. How was it?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that's Cat Williams. You never know.
Let me tell you, it was black as a motherfucker.
Of course,
Right, which I knew, and I'm there. It's me and a white girl. Okay, we get there,
Are
and
you up front?
we're in the floor, but not right up front, right? But
Okay.
when we get there, it's already started. So we have to ask the usher, "Hey, where are our seats at?" Right? So this usher, this old, fat, disgruntled white dude, is like not even happy to be working tonight. You can tell,
Right, work is work.
right? And he's like, he comes over and shows us where our seats are, and there's people in our seats. And instead of giving us the chance to say something to them, he's like, "Hey." Like rude, just the way he went about it was crazy rude. He was like, "You two, up, out. These aren't your," you know what I mean? It was just crazy how he did it. So then everyone around them is mad at us because of him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As if we were like,
Go get them motherfuckers out of our seats.
Bro.
Damn.
So it started off strange, and then it was just like Monique was the host, which was cool.
Nice.
I feel like she did kind of the best job. It just a lot of it felt there
She's
wasn't.
from here, so
That's what she mentioned
needs
that
to.
100 times.
Oh well, that sucks.
Yeah, but they're
Oh, well, that's
it was like it was a
because I
decent,
know exactly what you meant.
it was a decent show. It was just like not one joke where I'm like that was a good clever joke.
Right.
It was very, and you know what else black
It felt
comedians
like
do?
he was working out something.
No, maybe not. It felt
Is that
like
just
it
his
felt like he was
style?
phoning it in.
Right.
It felt like he wasn't even working it out. It felt like he was like, I'm gonna go out here and get this check.
I'm Cat Williams.
Yep. That's what it felt like. And you know what else black comics do that's hilarious to me that I didn't realize? It's like there won't be 5 minutes without a beat dropping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
But that's his style, though.
who?
Cat Williams.
Oh yeah, but also
Oh, you say everybody open before
yes,
him?
dude. So many people. Yeah, and also everyone knows the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like maybe their parent. You know, it's like black music. I don't
Right.
even know what it
Right.
is.
There
but
is
it's
black
like,
music, right?
You know, and it's just like it hits and it works for everyone in the crowd. I'm just like, this is not working for me.
Yeah.
But it hits with the crowd. Like they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? They're playing to the audience. They're playing to the culture. But it's just like it was just very interesting to me how different the comedy was. You know?
Yeah.
It was fun though. Overall.
In my brain, when I think of a Cat Williams, I think it's either going to be one way or the other. Because we went to the Chico Bean and
Andrew Schultz
and Lil Duval. I mean, that wasn't like Chico. I feel like had the best set there. There wasn't really like a lot of music involved with his set.
No, there wasn't.
He was just straight telling jokes.
Good,
and he was,
yeah,
and he was
funny
funny
as fuck. Yeah,
yeah. So
Schultz too. I mean, that
Schultz
was a
good.
good show.
I could tell Schultz was flustered because not that it wasn't his environment, but like I feel like he's not. He was like because it was Lil Duval's show. They had him first.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would do that now.
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't think they could. I don't even think he would do that. But like people coming in, like as he's telling his jokes, and like I could tell he was not fucking with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could tell he was not fucking with that. And funny enough, do you listen to Flagrant at all?
Not
Are
really.
you familiar with Alex Media, like the black guy that used to do a sound and just became like a character?
Mm-mm.
Well, apparently
He's on Flagrant on camera?
He's on Flagrant on camera now.
Oh, well then yes. The one black guy?
The one black guy,
Yes.
yeah. He used to be just a sound guy.
Mm.
He like DM'd Schultz one time. He DM'd Schultz like a video of like montage of him one time, and Schultz hired him. Like, but anyway, he worked his way up to be to like open his own podcast studios, blah blah blah. But apparently they got in like a big fight that night over the Baltimore show, and he was like cracking on him on the podcast, like, yeah, that's why your set was sucked at the Baltimore show. And Andrew was like, yeah, I'm not used to people walking in mid-set and shit like that.
It is interesting as their like level of fame varies, you know?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
who's opening for who and
Right.
and they'll hold that above each other sometimes. Remember when you opened for me, you know? Like
Mhm.
Andrew Schultz is humongous. I mean,
Yeah, he blew up after COVID, really.
and then if Kendrick is talking about you in a song, he didn't name him by name, right? But it's like
Imply everyone in there.
Yeah, that's huge for him.
It's fun. I thought it was funny that Gary Owens was like reply.
That was about him.
He just took advantage of the moment. It's just funny,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, smart.
But I ran a 5K for the first time in my life.
Did you?
I did.
Damn.
I know. I got a little under 28 minutes.
my head wants to go. That pussy must be fine.
Nah.
I know you ain't go alone.
No.
Okay,
no.
I know you didn't just up and go do a 5K. This is some shit girls drag their men to do.
Well, no, it was at like Lindsay. And,
Oh, it was
and
the
Pasadena one, the Guinness Gallop.
Okay, I saw that. Who orchestrated that?
Lindsay, Aaron, and Jackie.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know there was other people that actually
It-
did it. I thought that you guys just kind of joined it.
They did the whole thing and like
Wow.
set it up. It was nice. Like it was.
I bet. Where was it to and from?
So you started like right around Mike's, like Fort Smallwood, right around Mike's Crab House, and you ran up through Fort Smallwood Park, back to the house where it started.
Huh. Did you
Yeah.
raise money or there's donators or anything? Or are you guys just running?
We was just running.
You just running.
If we would have knew, like, we just got this thing together, and like, if you paid $20, it went towards like, you know, we had like food and
Okay.
coffee,
At the
and
end?
then at the end there was like Guinnesses. You could, you know, there's stuff like that. Or you could get, and you got a shirt, you know. But like, they just wanted to put something together like
Right.
that they could do annually. Now it's gonna be every year,
Nice.
so it was cool.
It'll probably grow in size. How was it your first time doing a 5K?
Yes, and like
Was
the
that
reason
3.5
why
miles or something?
it's
3.7
a little over
miles?
3 miles, yeah. And the reason why I did it is because I've never had. I don't like running at all.
Yeah,
It's actually pretty hard on my body because I'm so like, you know,
fat.
yoked. And but it's just like the first time I had to like. I wanted to run the whole time. Like
So you
I had a
practiced.
goal. Yeah, I was like practicing.
Right,
I was like
yeah.
running, like, and
You
it
can't
was.
be out there looking crazy after 20
That's how I
yards.
felt. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's how I felt. And like, I feel like some of my friends went out there and did it, and were like, I need to like start running after the fact. And you see people passing you, or like,
Dude, there's no way I could run a 5K right now.
you know, that's why I was like, yo, I'm gonna get ready for this. You know what I mean? One, I didn't want my girl beat me. She's done a half an Ironman before.
Yeah.
So like it's been a while, but like that's in her. Can't have her finishing before me.
Yeah, and women are light, it's like a little easier.
Yeah. And two, I wanted to push myself. I wanted to be like,
A
some
reason.
people were walking, like there's like a walking section, or people were like started 15 minutes early and walked around. I wanted to be one the runners, and I wanted to be one of the first people done. Like, even though it was just like a nothing
Yeah.
thing, I was just like, it felt good to like, have something to look forward to, work towards something,
And have a
and finish
reason to
it.
do it,
You know what I mean?
Sometimes when I'm working in the gym hella hard, I'm just like, for what?
Yeah.
I look at myself in the mirror and be like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even get to use any of it. It's like, so
and then sometimes with working out, like you said, like it comes complacent where you're just going through the motions.
right.
And like the results aren't like instantly. It's not like in a race or running and your time, like you can see your time dropping. I guess you're like when you're working out, you can see like your muscles a little bit, but it's a lot slower process.
Right.
So it can be like,
So getting to see like the real world functional progress of it,
and when you're so bad at something, like when you're so bad at running,
There's a high ceiling.
Yes. So like when you start off one week, like you're running a mile in like 11 minutes or whatever, and then 3 weeks later you're getting it down to like 9 and 8. So it just feels good. It makes you want to keep going,
Right.
going and then going farther, going and going.
You
farther.
practice on a treadmill or in the real world?
You got to be in the real world because the treadmill's just too controlled.
Right.
You know what I mean? Controlled environment, no hills, climate, like weather control. Like one day I'm running, it's nice, beautiful day out. Next day I'm running, it's windy. I'm fighting the wind.
When you said it's tough on your body, knees, ankles, what? All of it?
All of it.
Yeah.
Back, everything,
Right.
But that has to do a lot with form. Like as my form, I took breaks. Like I wasn't running every day. I was like every other day. Or maybe if I didn't feel good, I was 2 days. But I was still cross training like legs and working out,
How'd you learn form?
internet,
Right. Just check that out. Yeah.
just
I mean, when your
internet.
shit all
But then I
fucked
would
up.
like get like certain like tips on like what I should buy for my knees, what I should buy for like my ankles don't feel as bad. Like what are the best running shoes?
Right.
So I'm gonna like
What are the best running shoes? Hoka's?
those on clouds,
Mm.
they like certain Nike ones. And really like long distance, they say people have like 2. Like you want to switch up.
In the same race? Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be a runner, but I know like on like maybe once or twice a week I'll just do like a mile run.
Does your girl run? Is she a runner still?
No, she
Okay.
sucks now.
Okay. So you beat her.
I smoked her.
Squad.
I smoked her. But yeah, but now that like stuck the needle in for her to get back into it.
They say it's so good for you.
It is.
It just sucks so bad.
It just sucks so bad. And like the
Like-
whole like runner's high, I might have had that one time before and it might have been for like a half a mile
Yeah.
before it sucked again.
Yeah.
The only thing that feels good about running is when you're done.
Right. Runner's high to me is like the people who say that doing a cold plunge is like cocaine. It's like, oh, you've never done that.
Yeah.
It's like a runner's high. Oh, you've never been high for real,
Right.
There's like a comedian does a joke, like if I gave my drug dealer, $100 and then my legs were sore and my face was red and I was sweating, I'd be pissed. You know what I mean? Like I'm not, this is a shitty high,
Right.
but I've never achieved a runner's high. I don't even know if I could. I think my brain's kind of depleted,
I think like I know you're like a progress guy, so I think 1 week, 2 weeks, that would give you more of like a high than
Yeah.
just doing something new and getting better at it.
Right.
Rather than like
Because I do feel like at the gym at this point, like I don't really have any goals. I'm not really striving for anything specific, right? I'm just wanting to stay healthy and maintain.
Mhm.
But yeah, it does feel kind of like a little aimless sometimes. Where if I had something, even if it was a 5K my buddies made up, it's like at least there's a thing that I can.
That's
It's
like
a reason.
thing.
Give me a reason.
Uh-huh.
Give me a fucking reason.
Yeah, it was cool. It's cool. It's life is just funny. Like as you get older, like the things that your friends organize.
Yeah.
Because it used to be like a beer Olympics.
Kegger.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a beer Olympics type deal. But now it's like, yeah, we're doing a
Dude, we're
annual 5K.
I posted a picture of like my grocery cart and when what little was in there. It was like hot sauce and yogurt. And my buddy's like, dude, you got to hit up BJ's for the yogurt. They got it for you. And I'm just like, dude, we're old.
Yeah.
It's literally what I said back to him. Dude, we're old, man.
I did some young shit yesterday. I went to open a day.
How was it?
It was great.
Yeah.
It's always great.
Yeah.
You just, and like I say young shit, but it's just all about how you do it now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
Are you doing it differently than you did when you were young? And if so, how?
Well, my intentions when I drink is not to be the dumbest person in the room anymore.
Right. Drink as much as possible.
Yeah. I mean, I still get like that event. You're drinking for so long, you get. But I was like, had my wits about me. It wasn't like how it used to be on opening day. I didn't take off work and start mad early like I used to. I went to work for half a day, then I went down, and like, it's just different.
Yeah, just starting ass early in the morning is such a wild look.
Remember back in the day, the light rail?
We would get there
go
ass
to the
early.
light rail, pregame the light rail till it ran.
Pre-gaming a light rail.
Pregame the light rail in the light rail parking lot till it ran. Then got on the light rail to drink, and then went up there. It was
then did as long as you could until people just started falling off. You know
that and like what's the Irish stroll?
Yeah,
that was my favorite. And now I look at that and I'm like, I couldn't imagine.
Just a mess, man.
Just a mess, man.
Just messy.
Yeah.
All kind of smells
amateur
like
hour.
vomit. Yeah.
You know.
Right. Yeah. It's for 21-year-olds. You know what I mean? And we're not 21, so it makes sense that we go and we're like, all right, this is a little much. You know, it's funny how they talk about like Fed being like 21, you know, and then Kayne being older, and then Fells. Like there's like age groups, kind of.
Yeah.
Not always, but like they made the joke that like the older crowds go away from Fed.
And then like Canton's like, to me, this is how I break it down. Fed is like the young, want to be young people that are down to just, you know, get fucked up. Canton is like 27 to 35-ish.
Want to get fucked up.
That want to get fucked up.
Yeah.
And
One
Fells,
thing in common between all these people.
Fells is like the young professionals that want to get fucked up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Fells, you might run into like a lawyer or doctor or something like that, like nurse getting off work. Or
right.
Someone getting dinner at the pantry and then going around. Like Fells is a little bit more upscale. Still people want to get fucked up. But also like not really, because there's a lot of ratchet shit that goes on at Fells. It's ratchet. It's Baltimore at the end of the day.
Yeah, at the end of the day, people are people are huddling around and drink poison all night. You know, at the end of the night, it's gonna
Turn
be
into a baby again.
Yeah,
it's great. Great times.
Yeah.
So how's the podcast going?
Podcast is up and running, dude. We're here every week. Next week we got a guy who was shot by the police.
Really?
Yeah, he's alive. So we're gonna talk to him. It happened a while back. I remember hearing about it. It was years and years ago, but I don't really know the story, that's why I'm excited to talk to him about.
Yeah, that's dope. Do you ever have like someone that you don't know well, you don't go anywhere, but like that you don't know that comes up to you like, hey man, I know you don't know me, but like I listen to podcasts?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Because I feel like Two Broke Boys, like I would have people that were like acquaintances or people that I really didn't know that'd be like, I listen to Two Broke Boys.
I will say that it is like some people let me know they listen that I didn't expect to listen, but it's never really strangers, you know. Except I went to where I would do some electric work one time, and one of the people there was like, "Oh, hey, I loved your most recent podcast," and it's interesting because like in those environments, I'm not advertising my podcast.
Right.
It's different than my professional electrician self, you know, and it's just like. I was embarrassed, even though it's like I have this thing, right, that I'm proud of that we do. And when someone said something about it in a work environment, I'm just like, I guess because it's just like about pegging and smoking DMT. You know what I mean? It's like it's all these thoughts that are in here that I'm letting out here, you know?
Right.
So it's just, but we've been consistent with it. I'm trying to branch out and get some people that I don't know to come on and tell their story, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd be running out of stuff. I'm about to just.
Yeah, reach out to Kanye.
Yeah, I'm about to go full Kanye. Just wear a leather KKK.
So what do you think is?
Have you seen this? So Kanye's been losing his mind recently. You know,
like started years ago, but.
But you know he has phases. So he's in one of his phases now, and he's doing a lot of tweeting. And the tweets range from some of my favorite were Jay-Z and Beyonce's retarded ass kids. Like that was. He's like, and then he does another tweet, Mike. He goes, no, I'm not even kidding. Where are their youngest kids? They're literally retarded. He's like, at least they get to raise their retarded kids. Because he's like, I don't get my kids. And they could have helped me and stepped up. Apparently, like, he feels personally hurt by things that these other people have done. And then he takes those tweets down, and people are like, oh, maybe he's got some sense in his head. And then he writes a tweet, and he goes, just so everyone knows, I took those tweets down because of, I don't want to get my Twitter removed, not because I'm a good person. And then he's like, isn't it great artificial insemination? We get to choose our retarded babies. He just would not stop. I mean, yeah, he's taking shots at.
That's crazy though, because I feel like is that true? Like, is that why we don't see because they have 3?
The thing about people like Kanye is you go like, that's obviously crazy to say. And Anybody seen them kids? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
who knows? You know?
Yeah, and then like the whole academics interview where he's
Bro, so look, so he does all this tirade on Twitter, or on X or whatever, and everyone's trying to get a hold of him for an interview. Obviously, he chooses an immediate outlet to go with DJ Academics. He's like thinks he's going to be killed. He's paranoid. Did you see that? Like on the way there, so Academics is filming on the way there, and he's like, "Yeah, Kanye told me he's got to leave for China." Because he feels like people are trying to kill him, So he's just paranoid, schizophrenic, basically. I hate to diagnose the guy from afar, but
right. Feels like bipolar.
Yeah, I mean he's got
manic
a lot,
episode.
He's got a lot going on. Yeah,
Sort of
God
feels
complex
like
for sure.
If it's real or if it's an act, no one knows.
Yeah, I mean it's real.
It's so far from like reality to me. I'm like, is he putting on an act?
But when you hear the interview, it's not that far from his reality.
Right.
That's the thing I liked about that Academics interview. You go, oh,
maybe I just can't.
It's hard to see through the literal Klan hood. He's wearing. He's donned by the time he gets to get there. When the interviewer gets there, he has a full black Klan's fit on.
He said, I can't wear this outside because they'll commit me to a mental.
He said they'll take me away from my outfit.
I mean, is there a reason? Like,
well, he's on this war against Jewish people right now. He has an iced out swastika chain.
Well,
an iced out swastika chain.
Well, shouldn't he?
He
go
put out
more
swastika
Nazi
shirts
than,
on EasySupply.com.
I knew the Ku Klux were against Jews too, but like, wasn't it like mostly blacks?
It was everyone that wasn't
this is
white.
white supremacy.
It was white
supremacy.
supremacy
Being the supreme race.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
So no, Hitler would not be a fan.
Huh.
But no, because he's like, he thinks the Jews ruined his life, and so he's like.
He feels really personally hurt by everyone, and it's like he was in a really.
Saying Kim Kardashian's a sex trafficker. He was just saying wild shit.
Jesus Christ.
But also,
Jesus Christ.
But his reason was because his kids were in music videos.
Okay, right, yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
And then he said he didn't want to have sex with her. I have kids with her. It wasn't part of the plan. It was an act.
He said he was mad he had kids with her.
Yeah.
And Academics did call him one. He's like, well, people say that's kind of on you.
Yeah.
And he's like, that was my fault. That was my fault.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you picked the most famous person in the world,
Right.
and had kids with her.
What'd you think?
I mean.
Yeah. I'm just so turned off. Like, and I don't know, like maybe, and because it feels like where does this go? Every time he's trying to sell something, he pops back up with this shit.
Where does this go?
And then he always attacks whoever's at the top. It started with Drake. Drake tirades. And then all of a sudden, it was Kendrick. Kendrick, blah, blah, blah. Then the week Playboy Cardi drops an album. Then it was Cardi treats. It just feels like.
Because he didn't get put on Cardi's album.
It just feels like jealousy. It feels like an act. I feel like there's some truth mixed in with some of that bullshit.
But it does feel like a toddler throwing a tantrum.
Or it feels like, a theory is like, this happens when he's releasing music because he can't create unless he's off his meds. The meds are impeding his creative thought. So in order to make albums and music, he has to stop taking his meds, which result in these type of episodes every time.
Right. Which helps probably promote. You know what I mean? So it's like this
Have you heard his album?
No,
he dropped an album. Exactly. But he dropped an album.
Oh, so maybe it doesn't help. Yeah.
And it's good.
Is it?
It's like, it sounds great.
Right.
You know what I mean? The lyrics are the lyrics at some point, but he's again, it's Kanye. He's a musical genius. He's using AI in his music to like advance it. Like, because there was like a fight against AI in music.
Oh yeah.
He's like, it's the future no matter
you
what.
have to be an adopter.
And he's adapting it into his music and his style and his sounds, and it sounds good.
Yeah.
But like the way he's releasing it, I think it's like a YouTube video. It's 25 minutes long, and it's just all this. It's just a whole album. You can't like pick a song or whatever. It's 25 minutes long. You listen to the whole album. There's a video of one of his sons just beating up people for 25 minutes.
What?
In a ring. It's so weird.
He has a son that fights?
No, his son's a toddler. But he's fighting wrestlers that are jumping in a ring. I'm like,
I didn't expect that either, bro.
His son's a toddler, and he has a bat in the video. And there's
a baseball bat.
Yes.
The toddler.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's wrestlers jumping in, trying to get him, and his son's beating him up for 25 minutes.
The whole video. It's not like a loop. Jesus Christ.
It's whatever.
I just don't know how that ends. You know?
Yeah, it's sad.
I mean, yeah, it's just
because
like,
there's like
where
if
does
it's
this
real, then it ends one way.
well, I do think it is because it's like you can hear the hurt.
Yeah.
You hear the hurt in his voice when he's talking about that shit, you know? And he's like, Jay-Z and Beyonce, you could have used your, cultural status to help me with my kids. It's like, what are they going to do? Go to court and vouch for you? I mean,
Right.
It's
And they can't help you when you're going on these tirades.
right. They want to help you, and then you go, I love Hitler.
Right.
The Jews are bad, and you go, all right, I can't touch you with a 10-foot. And he's like, people are mad at me because I like Trump, and it's like, well, they were, and then you saw to it that everyone was mad no matter what.
Right.
But it doesn't seem fake to me, bro.
Have you talked about the signal gate?
Uh-uh.
How do you feel about that?
So what? Signal's the encrypted messaging app that some politicians got caught doing something on? Explain what that is.
Okay. So Signal, like you said, is like an encrypted app that basically it's like Telegram or anything that these drug dealers and people use to WhatsApp. Yeah. It's just an app that people use to send encrypted messages. Well, apparently some high-ranking officials that are in charge of the military made a group chat on there, and one of them accidentally added a journalist to the group chat on Signal. So what happened was...
That sounds a little too convenient.
That's a theory that people are saying it might be too convenient.
Like intentional?
Mm. So what happened was, in the group chat, they're talking about bombing the
on
the
Telegram?
Houthis, some group in the Middle East.
Sure.
What we do in
The
Yemen or whatever.
whodunits, the Houdinis.
And basically,
I love that they're using Signal for that.
But they were
Don't they have walkie-talkies or something?
a war room.
Yeah, Signal seems crazy.
So that's what everyone's saying. But so they're talking about it's weird because they're talking about like, hey, like I don't think Trump, like JD Vance is talking, and you can, it's crazy that
in the group message,
JD Vance is talking in the group message, and he's basically like, if we do this attack now, I don't see where it gets us. I think that the president is not understanding how Americans feel about war right now. Maybe we need another week or two to convince them that this is worth it. Like basically saying like we need some more propaganda before we make this move. But because bombing the Middle East has been shown to do nothing basically at the end of the day. And it was like the type of plane they're using, the type of artillery, the climate of the day they're gonna do it, the time what they're gonna do it. All this journalist is getting all this information, so he removes himself from the group chat.
And are they
which
able to
is
see
like
that?
a journalist? No. I don't know if they've seen it, but this is like a journalist no. Like,
so why'd they do that?
Because integrity of like,
Okay.
I shouldn't be in here. Like, I shouldn't be in here knowing
Sure.
all this stuff. So
What a weird feeling. Like this is
juicy information.
JD who?
Yeah,
fuck?
this is juicy information. Like,
The juiciest.
As a
But too
journalist,
juicy, almost too juicy though, where you're like, I'm not ready to die over this shit. Like I'm out, bro.
yes, like, all right, this is
Because that's whistleblower type shit.
So what he does is he, as a journalist, makes an article. I was added to blah blah blah.
Okay, so he wasn't that scary. He hops out the group chat and is like, guess what?
Well, he could have stayed in it for as long as they noticed it and
Yeah.
seen who knows how much more.
Right.
But anyway, he hops out the group chat, creates an article. I was added to the war plans of the U.S. Blah blah blah, and it was like the Secretary of Treasury in there, the Vice President.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know who's even in there.
He
yeah.
saw everybody that was in there. So at first,
Netanyahu.
the White House came out. Trump said he didn't know nothing about it, but couldn't have been just. He was just so
he addressed it?
arrogant. Yeah, Trump was first. It's changed so much. First, he addressed it. He was like, it couldn't have been too. He was like, he didn't know nothing about it, but he's like, it couldn't have.
Is it too classified?
He couldn't have fucked anything up because the bombing was successful. Blah blah blah. But like, what does that mean? The bombs went and blew up. Like,
Yeah.
Successful is subjective. But anyway,
Very.
and then the Tim Waltz, which is the guy that added him to him, who's like, I guess like in charge of like military personnel. I don't really know his. Can you look up what his actual title is for me?
WALZ.
Yeah.
I've heard the
Basically
name.
said that this isn't like they were all saying this isn't true.
It's a lie.
It wasn't classified information. So then the journalist had to go, all right, well, this is what it was. If I'm lying, then this is the information what it was. So then it showed like he was in there.
So the journalists didn't put out their whole bag right away.
No.
Smart.
What am I looking up with Tim Waltz exactly?
His title?
His title.
He's an American politician.
Probably change it. Yeah, American politician, liar. You can just say liar, Mike.
Retired U.S. Army, non-commissioned officer who has served since 2019. He was the governor of Minnesota.
He's got
So
some
basically,
position.
yeah, he's on Trump's team, and then he's the one that added him. So then they're like, so basically right now, it's the right being like, this is a nothing burger, while really everyone else is like, yo, this is like a big fucking deal. So then the guy was just like, I don't even know who, like this is, it's not even true. I don't even know who that is. Then it comes out there's pictures with him, and the journalist had to be like, my number's in your phone. Like, you know who I am.
So Tim Waltz was like, not only is that text thread not real, I don't even know this guy.
So it's just like been so like weird. So basically, this is like the biggest fumble of Trump's administration so far.
What's the president say? I mean, Elon. What's Elon saying? What's Elon saying?
I don't remember Elon's statement,
Okay.
but Trump's is basically like, again, like this is like nothing to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he doesn't want to
Yeah.
admit like this is a major. I know behind the scenes it's like, how the fuck can we let this happen? Because you got people in politics like the shit that they're discussing there is discussed in a war room,
And
not
I guess
over this Signal app.
And I guess it does make sense, right? You need to communicate to one another, like somehow,
Right.
And you can't always be in a war room. But in my head, yeah, it's like
There's
like,
another form.
There's guards and scrolls that you have to like. You know what I mean? In my head, there's like the King's Guard has to be involved to have those type of combos. It's not like, dude, sending emojis back and forth about a bombing seems nuts.
So like again, it's just I'm entertained by like the left's like blowing this up, like making it's almost like the Hillary emails reversed. It's like the left is blowing this up like, hey, this is a big deal. I can't believe this is like a breach of national security. These people, you're preaching DEI and having people that are fit for the job. Well, is that the guy that's most fit for the job doing something like that? Maybe he should get fired. You know, you're preaching this thing about, you know, people being hired off merit. This guy should be fired.
Right, based on this, yeah.
And then Trump's just like, well, I can't fire my guy because that's one thing that's one thing that's different between the right and the left. The left, I feel like media eats itself to where you can never be too left.
They ran by the crowd.
And they'll cancel. Yes. The right will stick up for their people no matter what. And I think that's what makes them a little, like right now, a little stronger.
Good or bad, right?
Good or bad. That's like they'll stick up for their guy no matter what.
And the crazy thing though is it's like the argument about like, you know, this breach of information and how sloppy it was and whether we should fire him or not based on his merit, none of it matters.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's if we disappear Tim Waltz right now, nothing changes.
Right.
Like it doesn't really matter. Like if people want to grab onto something so bad, and it's like same with the Hillary emails. It's like it really this shit's happening constantly. We just found out about this thing.
Right.
Yeah, we're doomed.
We're doomed at the end of the day. How do you feel about like we were talking about like the Trump coin?
I think that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think that should be allowed, really. I mean, honestly, it gets weird with even fundraising, right? Because the difference between a fundraiser and a bribe, right, and
Not
a
much.
donation and a fucking it's like
I just feel like this like politics is so far like when you think of like them signing like the Declaration of Independence to what it is now.
Yeah.
It's so different. Like all this like super delegates and super PACs and donors.
That's what
like,
Destiny was saying. Destiny was like, if you had a representative back in the day and they didn't do good, like they would kill you. The people would fuck you up. You know what I mean? It was
Right.
like, you're representing us. You better be on your shit. You know. Now it's the other way around. We're like, we need to be on our shit. So you know what I mean? It's like they're in charge, but really they're supposed to just be representing.
Yeah, when you got like, even like when you think of like the whole Biden thing at the end, basically the only reason he dropped out is because his donors were like, we're not supporting you anymore. So then the Democrats were like, if we don't have to, like, you have to step down. So he begrudgingly stepped down, and it's just like, that's crazy that money is controlling this.
That's what
you act like this. We get to do this vote and get to pick our guy.
Right.
We don't.
Well, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you guys pick the guy. You guys act like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that
They're
got
getting-
exposed with like the Bernie Sanders thing and the Hillary but like,
And it
it's
makes
just-
sense. They're getting $20,000 from me a year, right? Or whatever.
Right.
They're getting $20 million from a corporation. Like who are they going to cater to? I mean, it makes sense. It's like you're donating. It's like the fundraisers for the campaigns. They're paying for you to win
Even
this
at our
shit. So how could you not-
detriment. Have you heard about like what's going on with
Probably not.
the electric vehicles in China?
No.
And just how they're completely smoking us?
No,
And
but it
it's
doesn't surprise
because
me.
like because back in the day, like even Kennedy was like put in photovoltaic shit on the White House. Like he put it on, like they were going back then.
Right.
Big oil, big gas. That's when all that propaganda started with that shit. Nixon came in, took it off, whatever. But you look at China, who's advancing their EV, they have cars they have hybrids that have 400-gallon tanks and cars that can go 600 miles without a charge.
Right.
And then they have supercharge stations that will charge your car in 5 minutes. So like they're so, and then like, so what's going on right now is like TikTokers that are going to China and stuff like that, or just because they're fascinated with their car, they're essentially doing propaganda, not even knowing, like, because they're doing like car reviews, they're getting in it. The cars are going like 0 to 60 in 2 minutes, 2 seconds, you know, and they're doing like these things in these cars when they're going to visit, not knowing like they're just showing cars that are shitting on our EV. Because like even our best EV can go what, 40 miles? Like our best Tesla is like
400.
No,
It ain't 40.
it's like 40, 50.
No.
It's under 100.
No.
Bet money.
Mike, look it up. Would you just look up a long-range Tesla battery?
Another thing to like
Before charge.
keep in mind, half of the Model Ts were electric. I don't know if you knew that or not. So we were doing electric cars like
Way back when.
So like they shut that shit down way, way early.
Yeah.
Electric car average range
It's hundreds. I think 200 to 300.
says 193 for
193.
the average range.
Yeah, it's a couple
electric
hundred.
car
Okay.
range is,
600 is way better because we're stuck at like 4, I
most
think.
common is 68 though, so some of them
Okay.
are very on the low end.
Yeah, I've heard a couple hundred, but even still, it's like, you got to get the dual battery. I don't know how China's not just so ahead of us in everything because we talk about it like they are, and every time I hear about them, it's like, yeah, they're just so advanced, and because the government can make them, right? They're like, you don't have a
Right.
choice, you're gonna do
And
this
because of like this culture war, we don't have access to like those type of cars. We're not gonna get those electric cars over
thing.
here.
Right?
You know what I mean? Because, and I get that. Like one, it's like imperialism. Like we want to make sure, we want to tell our people that we have the best of the best of everything.
Yeah.
And two, like you don't want to fund them.
But
while
it is
we're
funny
in, while
because
we're
we
in
are
a
funding them.
while we're in
It's
a
like-
social war with them.
But what we'll do is like we're not going to buy those cars. We'll buy all the materials from them, and then make the car ourselves.
Well,
over
that's
here.
one thing. Like, if I'm looking at tariffs or what they are we getting screwed in the trade war?
Everyone probably
it's-
is, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting taxed. We're getting unfairly screwed in that. Yes, the way we're going about it is the right way. I don't think so. It feels like more chaos than a plan. But like one thing is like we are kind of getting stiffed like when it comes to tariffs on other countries because they put their tariffs on their shit that's way higher than what we do.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like it's a global economy. Like this engine part's coming from here. This
That's
engine
the
part's
thing.
coming from here. This is coming from here.
There's no free lunch in nature. You got to take from here and give to. It's like it's everything. It's,
So like, is it too late to try to correct that, and at what expense? You know, I was seeing something today that said the average car price for something overseas is gonna go up another $12,000. You know what I
Jesus
mean?
Christ.
Like that's a lot of money.
I mean, yeah, I don't have it. I don't have 12 grand.
You know, so it's just
I
like
don't have 12,000.
when you're trying to reconstruct. You know, you're trying to change the mindset of America because we are conditioned to think like our goods should be low. Like we should be getting things that are lower price.
no matter what.
No matter what.
Yeah, we
But
don't even think
you're
about-
trying to change like this is best for America, but maybe the goods are gonna be more, but that's how it should be.
Right.
She's just trying to change that culture and like I said, at what expense?
I guess it's just tough for some people to get on board with like anyone being in charge who really wants the best for America. It's like everyone has their own agendas, you know. It's tough to just feel like, wow, maybe Donald Trump's such a good old boy. He really just wants America to do well, you know. And it's like maybe.
Well, even today where they're like talking about how do you feel about the prices of inflation or price of cars going up, and he's like, yeah, I don't care. I didn't tell anybody to lower their prices. He's like, it would just make people buy American products more.
Right.
But like not like again, at what expense? Like when you make things when things start to get more expensive, and if it's part of your 10-year plan, you're kind of like not thinking about what money, like tightening people's money does. It
Yeah.
makes families split up. It makes
Yeah,
people
oh, yeah.
kill themselves. Like
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Money's down, crime is up.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Exactly. And I just think like not having a legit plan and just going with the flow at this, and you're a millionaire and you have all this money to, you can say things like that. And like I don't know, maybe in 20 years it will be the best for America, but like, will you even get a chance to do that? Because if everything goes up, you won't even get to enact your plan. So now what is the point of all this chaos and these things happening? I don't know. I'd just be sad.
It all seems. Well, it's laugh or cry, right? So I was just laughing at. Did you see that Elon's own AI was talking shit about him?
Yeah.
It was like Elon Musk is one of the top misinformation spreaders on X.
If you see his shit,
his own AI.
If you follow him, he gets community check notes a lot.
Oh, the community notes is one thing. But it was just
Grok.
Like, it was just
well, I see like you fuck with that.
I fuck with Grok.
Like, does he have like an edge? Like I see him reply to like shit, and it's kind of like funny.
Grok?
Yeah.
There's 80 different modes.
Really?
Bro, you can have unhinged mode, which is very edgy. It's unhinged.
Okay.
You can have not a therapist mode, not a doctor mode. You can have deep think mode. You can have
is it an app?
There's a sexy
or is it just
mode.
on Twitter?
Now they got an app now.
Okay.
But look, they have sexy mode. This thing will talk shit to you till you come, bro. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. The one thing it won't do is generate porn videos, but you can tell it like I've told it, like, generate a porn image for me, right? And it's like, we can't do that. I'm like, well, generate as close as you can. You know what I mean? Do this, and you can just like play with the prompts. But yeah, it's impressive that it has all these different categories.
Humans are so crazy.
We're toast.
We're supercomputer in my hand. Porn.
Yeah.
I got a fucking suit because my logo for my e-commerce I was talking to you about, I just told, I told ChatGPT, I'm opening this store. I have this. I just gave it like a couple of things, and
I'm opening a store. Show me some porn, please.
Hey, I'm selling this e-commerce store. It's gonna be selling shoes and mostly blah 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 blah. Make me an image, and it just came up with like, and then it came up with one. And I was like,
and how long?
Seconds. And I feel bad, right?
Funny
because
we've done the graphic artist thing, right? Where like we give them the idea, they take some time, they give it back. You're like, I don't like it, and then it takes some more time to fit. And it's like, this shit is just.
I know, but it's fucked up because I would be paying that graphic art. I'd be paying that guy.
It's very fucked up, and then you can tell it. Well, not quite. A little
exactly
bit more.
Exactly what I did.
And that's the best part. You don't even have to reprompt.
Well, then it gave me 3. It was like you can only get 3 unless you pay blah blah blah, or wait 24 hours. Mm-hmm. So I just had to wait like another day to get. Exactly what I wanted.
Because they said their GPUs are melting and shit, like OpenAI when they.
Well, you remember that video, that thing I sent you about, like the water it uses? Did you ever read that? Probably not.
No, I don't know how to read.
There's an article about how much every time you ask ChatGPT a question, you're wasting like 3 bottles of water.
Oh, it's way more than that too. It's not even just the water though. It's like, yes, that's what the joke about AI is. It's like they were all like, we got to go green, we got to go green. And then AI infrastructure, they're like, forget that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because it takes so much to cool those machines.
Everything it's taking to actually do those AI data super centers and shit for the backbone of the AI. Yeah, it's trash in the environment. The environment's already trash.
I think that's going to be like the mainstay for electricians is these data centers that are just popping
That's
up.
all there's going to be. It's
and
data centers and shanty towns.
They're so demanding.
I've said it before. It's going to be giant Amazon fulfillment centers, data centers, and then tents.
And they're so demanding. Like, data center, the one I got on a fulfillment center. It was 7 days a week. Amazon fulfillment center, 7 days a week. No cell phones. Security guard walking around with you.
No phone.
That's brutal. No smartwatch.
That's
security.
brutal.
Everything gets left outside the security gate.
Seems a little extreme.
Security
like, what are we
gate.
Here?
Can't take a picture of the prints. Can't take the prints outside the security gate. Security guards watching you while you work.
You got to.
So you're not putting anything in the ground, any type of EMT shit.
No
like
phone
that.
in the job, just double.
Yeah, and it's like I said, 7 days a week. They don't care about overtime. Get it done. Work 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, whatever you need to get this project done. What 30 to money. Then I got on a data center, which was the same thing, 7 days a week, 2 shifts. So there would be a morning shift that would come in and do work for 12 hours, and it'd be a night shift to come in. Non-stop work on this bitch till it gets done.
It's like money's fake at a certain point.
For Amazon companies like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, have you heard the idea that...
Because once you get that up, they say, like, if you trip... Like, there's so many UPS backup things, because if it shuts down, that's millions of dollars you're losing per second.
I bet.
You know what I mean? So,
yes.
like, it's like a big...
Every second
big no to have something, like, your shit shut down, lose power somewhere. So there's so many backups. But the problem is, which I hate it, everyone is on top of each other. Everyone is touching everything. I mean, there's a guy that's doing bus duck. There's a guy coming behind the bus duck guy to make sure the bus
All
duck
at the
is
same
right.
time.
Make sure the bus duck is right so shit doesn't blow up. There's an apprentice tying in a transformer over here. There's 6 guys in the switch gear over here. It was just madness. It was so dangerous.
God damn.
Yeah, it was just madness, but it's like, get the shit done.
Get it done.
But I was working for a company that didn't do data centers as much, and I don't think they touched one after that, just because like I don't think they realize how fucking demanding
It's a
it
different
is.
beast.
But there are companies in the union that's their bread and butter, so maybe they run a little different, a little better. They know, but it's still the same amount of overtime. You work 7 days a week, but we don't care. Pay you whatever, just get the shit done.
This is crazy.
Mm. And they're like government. You know what I mean? Like Amazon is like it is government now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's like
when you cut the job sites where it was a distribution center and you can't have your phone, you still can't take pictures of the prints, and like you have to. It is tight.
It's so unnecessary. It feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just feels like it feels like the breakthroughs that we're going to have scientifically, even because of AI's ability to cross-reference everything that's ever been researched scientifically. It's like having, top level PhD students that never sleep and are constantly researching and have all the data ever. Right. I do genuinely believe these next 10 to 20 years are going to be pretty crazy. I mean, the one guy already won a Nobel Peace Prize, I think, for protein folding that he used AI to do. They can do they figured out basically like decades worth of work in like a night, like all these different structures from protein folding. I think hundreds of millions of different.
I think it's gonna be rough for us to learn to adapt to it. I think it's gonna result in a lot of angry people to the point where it is like it's not gonna be like the movies where we're physically fighting it, physically fighting robots. At least not right now, but. Essentially, I think even like the writer's strike, that's what that was.
Yeah, it is. It's the same exact thing.
It's the same thing. Just like we're fighting robots. We're fighting the ability of like them to not take over.
Yeah.
When you go to a cash,
it's when taxis are fighting Ubers.
When your fucking grandfather won't go to the self-checkout and he goes to the actual person, it's the same fight. Fucking fight.
Same fight we've been talking about forever. Same fight science fiction novels have been written about forever. It is the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's man versus machine.
I really do get it now. I really do like. I go skip the self-checkout just because I'm like, that's someone's job. Like, at the end of the day, this guy that doesn't have enough money to retire, that comes to Home Depot just so he can, finish off his 37, 40-year mortgage or whatever he's got. So he's got to do that. You're taking that job away from him if everybody's just going self-checkout and he's just standing there twiddling his thumbs. Eventually, a higher-up's going to see that because capitalism is not based on empathy. It's about that bottom dollar. Yeah. Once something goes public, once stocks get involved, that's why people think that healthcare shouldn't be shared. Once it starts to become about the bottom line, that's when you start making cuts and shit gets different and you start using different ingredients for foods and medicines. Yeah. When you look and you have to talk to those investors about the bottom line and how this quarter's looking and what we could do to make this better, that's when the food tastes a little different. Do you think
that the hierarchical nature,
I'm getting sad.
Competitive nature, like the human, competitive and hierarchical capitalism vibe, do you think that's I had this conversation yesterday with somebody. I kind of believe it to be human nature, and this person was saying that they feel like it's because of capitalism and greed. Do you think that without capitalism there's an idea of a utopia where we're not feeling competitive? Because I feel like if it wasn't money, it would just be something else.
I think there's always going to be that. I think it's like
comparison. As long as you can compare something to something else, then you're going to have some
I just think it's in us for someone to be running things, be the leader. So there's always going to be that guy that strives to run shit. I feel like there's even when it comes to animals, there's always a head of the pack.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's always going to be that. So I feel like no matter what, there's no running from this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And when you get as many people as America, it's like
the way we did it, maybe the way we've done it and the culture that we have is strayed a little bit from what it, because we could have both. You could have a utopia with capitalism in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But also at the end of the day, the reason why things churned the way they did in America is because of the competitive. I want to be first. I want to have the best thing.
Yeah, capitalism has incentivized a lot of stuff, right? Like a lot of those, things for new medicines or cancer research and stuff. People aren't incentivized unless there's money there. You know, a lot of the mathematic things go left unsolved because there's not a lot of money in solving them. Like, yeah, you figured out this equation that no one solved in 60 years.
Right.
Here's a prize, but you're broke. It's like you're broke. Your hair looks crazy.
But it's like a double-edged sword because now things like staph infection or things that could really kill us one day, there's no money in that one-time cure. So they're not going to research as much as they're going to research the thing that keeps the cancer away for a couple more weeks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they could keep you alive.
And then fund more research.
Yeah. But the thing that solves the problem, they're not going to put that much money behind.
Yeah.
So that's why they say a thing like staph infection is going to kill us because we're not researching as much as we should. You know what I mean?
I think AI will figure it all out.
And then the other short is AI will figure out, but like at what cost when people don't have jobs?
Well, I listened to
and then they go, well, the AI is going to fix the they're going to have people to fix the machines. They're going to have AI to fix the machines. They're going to have AI doing the diagnostics on the other AI, which is
Well, basically, I listened to this this pretty like on the cutting edge of like AI podcast about with these certain people, and they were saying that basically like this guy, I wish I knew his name because he's like a prominent figure in that world, in the tech world, but he was saying that AI already now today, the first applications of it have been war, money, surveillance, you know. And he's like, and it might not look like that. We call it, instead of war, we call it defense, you know? Mm-hmm. Instead of surveillance, we call it like, interconnect, or whatever. It's like, and instead of like, it's just like basically everything we're doing it for already is like, are these like not benevolent things, you know what I mean? It's like it's already like the fears that everyone's worrying about, it's like it's already happening just on a small scale. Mm-hmm. And he's like, basically the people that are decent need to use the AI just as much and learn as much about it so they can try to have AI to fight the bad AI. I mean, it's literally like a science fiction novel, bro.
Have you seen I've heard about it, I don't have TikTok, but it's a trend where people are, it's like a filter that gives you Down syndrome, but like really hot.
Hey, bro,
really hot girls are using it.
Let's clear my schedule for the next 6 to 8 hours because I'm busy. I mean, you know how many funny dude? What?
There's like a filter.
There's a Down syndrome filter that makes me so happy.
And there's
bro.
like a group. There's like a group of girls that keep using it, so there's like a big following.
If a Downs person uses it, are they regular? Are they like?
Well, that's the thing. The podcast was like pulling them up and like, and they were like trying to figure out, like, is this a real one or is this a fake one? Like,
damn, it's on
so
TikTok?
Like technology, like I said, like yeah, technology is just funny. Like how we use it versus how like people like in government shit use it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just scary when everything's so connected like that, you know. Remember in Canada when they were like the trucker protest? Mm-hmm. There was that giant trucker protest, and they froze the bank accounts of people who donated to the truckers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is crazy. And then once everything's so connected, it's going to be pretty easy to go like, hey, freeze his bank account. Or that's another thing. It's like, because everything's digital, like if you're ever in trouble with the law, and again, let's say that the laws become extreme, where they're not really morally incorrect, right? But you've broken some arbitrary law. They'll know right where you're at.
Of course.
You have to spend money. You have to spend money.
I didn't even know the tow truck has... I didn't even know how tow trucks like work and figure out how you are. So basically, they have a car that works for the company. You know how like on the back of a like a state trooper, sometimes you see those transponders that are just clicking license plates? They have a car that's not a tow truck. Sometimes it's on a tow truck, sometimes it's just on a regular car. Same transponders. And they drive around everywhere and get license plates. All the time, constantly. So the point where the tow truck driver knows, like when your car gets repoed, he knows your schedule. He knows when you leave your house, when you're home, when you're going to the grocery store. He knows your schedule because of these transponder things that are going, that it's shared in like a tow truck universe.
And to the cops.
That's
the whole thing. Same with ring cam.
Yep.
Certain camera systems and surveillance systems, right? Like the red light cameras, right?
Yeah.
They catch you for the red light. Cops can look into that to see if their suspect's license plate has driven through. It's like they're all connected. It's the same thing, and it's like they also catch you for running the red light.
Bird eye, like it's a bird eye.
It's genuinely eagle's eye. It's we're living in a surveillance state.
Yeah,
it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, they always say when you leave your house, just assume you're on camera.
Yeah, and now you don't have to leave your house, because your phone's recording you everywhere you go.
Yeah, phone's recording you.
So basically, the only thing to do is to smoke 5 MEO DMT about it. It's like taking the red pill.
No, I heard if you share a Facebook article, they'll stop.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, if
my
you
mom actually said something about that.
yeah.
Sounds like something my mom.
Yeah, If you
to
just
me.
share it, say, "Hey, Facebook, stop
Hey,
listening."
Facebook, I'm formally requesting you to not let AI take over the world.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, they're safe.
I love those posts.
Yeah. How's your mom? She's all right?
She's good. Yep. She just had hip surgery.
Damn. How old is she?
Who knows?
Right. I feel like one of those things I'm terrified of.
60s.
Yeah, one of those things I'm terrified of is hip surgery. It's like not to scare you already know. It's not like I'm telling you, but like
Right.
it's the beginning of the end for a lot of old people. Like my grandfather, he was much older, in his 80s, but it's just like your body.
They say
it's hard to heal, bro. It's
right.
like
But they also say like you should wait as long as you can to get your first one because
once you do,
you have to do it again. So they say you should put it off as long as you can.
While your body's so strong enough to heal.
Right. But you also, if you get one too early, then you're just gonna end up having to get it again.
Right.
But I mean, I see the difference from like before till now. It's just like you said, your body breaks down. Like my mom's teacher climbing up and down steps, your body's just gonna break down.
Gravity's a motherfucker.
So hopefully AI will figure shit out.
AI or
make things
Brian
cheaper.
Johnson.
Yeah, that fucking quack.
Yeah.
The guy thinks he's aging backwards.
Yeah, once you can have science tell you that, you're biologically 18, he feels like he's gonna live forever, and
we'll see.
That's what's nice. He's the guinea pig.
Yeah, we'll see.
We will see.
But he was just he was on Schultz's podcast and he was talking about like all the things he takes, and we'll see, man.
Yeah, it's interesting when they're like, what could you tell people to like some things they could do to live longer? He always brings up sleep first.
I know, that sucks.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way.
It sucks.
I feel the same way. He's like, he spends millions on supplements, millions. He gets his son's blood spun and the plasma out of his son's blood put into him. I mean, he's spending millions. He's literally like this guinea pig for anti-aging, and longevity. But
he says he's got like 18-year-old genetics.
And basically he's like, because they test all his telomere, the things that are biological agers in your body and how they act. He's testing at an 18-year-old level, and that's what he's aiming for. But he's like, what I could tell people out of everything, because he has a specific diet, a specific workout, a specific everything's literally itemized to the minute for him, optimized. He's an extreme case, obviously, for science, but he said that we should dedicate our lives, our schedules around our sleep. Like, plan out the sleep, and everything else is after. He's like, it's that important for us.
That's fucking insane. That makes me so sad. Because
just because no one's that strict with it.
And like, it's as someone like me that has to be at work at 5:30 and have to be up at 3:30. I would have to be asleep right now.
I was about to say.
You know what I mean? Yeah. To get 8 hours, I'd have to be asleep by 7:30.
Yeah.
Like it just can't happen.
Right.
Or it could, but then I'm sacrificing my life to sleep,
Yeah, it's tough. It'd be nice to wake up when the sun gets up.
It would be nice. The things you got to do to keep fucking.
When I wake up and go outside and it's still dark, man, it just hurts a little. When I wake up and go outside and the sun's starting to come up, it feels better to be out there, Like I've noticed that when I'm working my regular full-time corporate job, it just feels so different than when I'm working for me.
Right. I agree that
so
like a side job, even if I'm at a side job for 8 hours, it feels so much different than being at work for 8 hours.
So much better.
Even though I'm doing the same thing. I'm
same
doing
thing.
electric work.
Dude, I had work on it was like a Monday morning. It was wet. It was cold. I had to get on a roof. I woke up late. I wanted to get there at a certain time. I woke up late. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my first words were fuck because I realized I was late, but it's like no one's waiting on me.
Right.
I just need to go there, and I went there and I did the job. And even on the roof, I had the thought, like I'm wet, it's rainy, it's Monday. I'm the boss.
Yeah.
Like it just felt good to not have to because normally when I'm late, I feel bad because of someone higher than me is, or like there's someone. But if it's not that, then who gives a fuck,
Right. You're just putting it's just your schedule. It's kind of
right. And when I'm not doing no one dirty, which I don't, I feel like no matter what I've done, I can explain it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless you're really like robbing people or doing something that you shouldn't, everything I say works. It's like, maybe you'll be, whatever it is, it means well.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. It just sucks. Like you think I was talking to a coworker about like, like running work and doing that type of thing. And it's like when I work it weird because like you said, we were talking about earlier, it's like an innate ability to always like be the man, be the boss, move up. But then I'm fighting it because it's like, oh, I'm just gonna do 10 times more work for $3 extra an hour to make this company millions.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think about like
you got to weigh extra responsibilities versus the extra compensation. Yeah.
And then I like when I'm getting in the trade, I'm hearing about like these guys having heart attacks, and you see how stressed out they are about the job and making sure the job hits its numbers and all this shit. And it's like, is it worth the $5 at the end of the day? And then you think about what you're doing. Like for instance, there's this machine that works off satellites, right? It's called Trimble. You familiar with it?
No.
So basically, it lays out points in the yard. So like when you're doing underground, this is where this pipe needs to turn up. This is where this pipe needs to turn up. This is where the generator yard is. This is where you're gonna have to put. So like in the center of like a 4-inch pipe, he makes a mark. That's where it goes. You know. Then the electric room is all laid out by the Trimble. Talking to the satellite, talking to the thing. So he's laying out this thing. An extra $1 an hour, but you have $1 million job because if they lay out that generator yard or that switch gear and A and B is backwards, now they got to tear that up. That's millions of dollars. They're probably going to come for you and they're going to fire you. But you're just doing this job for all this extra pressure for an extra $1.
Right.
But your job's on the line now if you fuck up. Rather than me, I might drop a light or crack a fixture. And I'm like,
and people are
I get it. You're stepping stones to get to
Well, that's what I was about to
else.
say. People are so excited to move up, right? That it's just like almost like a natural human thing to want to climb. And then also this like a people pleaser thing, right? My mom retired and then she got a side job. I got a florist and she's about to leave that job. And she told me, she's like, I'm nervous. I'm like, about what? She's like, putting in my 2 weeks. This bitch is like 68 or something. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I don't know. She needs somebody. I'm like, well, that's what you didn't. She existed before you were there, Mom, and she's going to exist when you're gone. It's just funny how she's just like, yeah, I don't know. My mom goes, you think it would be okay if I send her just a text? I'm like, yes, Mom. Yes, you can quit via text these days.
Right. They'd fire you via text.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's how I always think the 2 week shit and all this other stuff. Like, I see some Fridays, I see some mechanics straight up just crying. Like, getting that.
It's a business at the end of the day.
Getting that pink slip, just
it's
crying.
A business.
Like,
all that family bullshit. Yeah.
Then I see people that give their 2 weeks and get fired for giving the 2 weeks. Yep. So the way our union works is like they discourage quitting because they don't want you to hop job to job to job and just quit and just hopping on the books, quitting. So if you quit, you gotta sit down for 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you can go sign the books. So a way around that is, say I have a job at another company. And I, say, hey, I got a job at another company. I'm leaving here. Sometimes if they're cool, they'll give you a furlough. Basically a RIF, which is a reduction of force. You don't have to sit for 2 weeks. You can go sign the books, go right back out. Under this new company can come call your name off the books, hire you.
Right.
They got to pay you extra more for a certain amount of weeks, but you're off the books. You don't have to sit for 2 weeks. So you got some people that are like, ask for raises, ask for a truck and a buck, gas car or whatever. They say no.
Truck and a buck.
They say no. This other company will give it to them. So they like, hey, can I get my 2 weeks? And they'll give their 2 weeks, thinking like I'm gonna get a clean riff and just get a quit. Now they gotta sit. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing about the rift, I think some companies, like if I give you a reduction of force, you can really go get unemployment. So in one sense, I feel like sometimes someone might say, hey, I have this other job.
Right. And
because they want to quit. And then they go get the unemployment. So now they just don't do that.
Right.
But
at the end of the day, it's a businth. At the end of the day, it's a business that has to run whether you're there or not.
There was a girl that told me that she thinks that women should have a week off for their period every month.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, isn't that what PTO is? She's like, no, but it should be different. I was like,
I mean,
So
also, we don't want to be around. We'll take the week. I'll give y'all a couple of. Everyone donate. Listen, if every man in this bitch can donate 5 minutes to this, yeah, no. I mean, look, we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Stay your ass the fucking home.
I heard a funny joke. It was like International Women's Month. And they're like, don't you guys get that like once a week, every month? Like, we just gotta tiptoe and praise around you. But like, yeah, she said that. I'm just like, well, how would the business run?
Right.
I was like, how would you guys just want to get paid for being home?
Yeah.
I was like, she's like, I just feel like if world showed more empathy. I was like, that's not how money works.
It is tough.
It is.
I mean, I can't imagine if I bled out of my dick hole for a week, a month.
Right, exactly.
I really can't. I
and
mean,
it does affect everything, the way you,
bro.
I
And
mean,
all women differently.
and all women differently.
And a
I
week
get
before, a
that.
week after, it's crazy.
But
I know. It's not
it's just like, it's
like
sad,
you said,
but like
realistically, yeah,
that's one body that's not there
take
once
this
a
up
month.
with God.
You want me to pay you for you not being
Right.
here?
Times
once
all the
a
women.
month? Yeah.
Times every
I was like,
woman.
just take the PTO. I was like, but if you're gonna get that PTO, everyone should get it. But then how's the company gonna run?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, where are you gonna work where that works? Nowhere. You know what's gonna happen if say like it's passed? People just aren't gonna hire women.
Yeah. Well, you know who don't get periods?
It's the same
AI.
same thing about how companies feel about hiring like people in their 20s.
Yeah.
They think about like pregnancy. And shit.
Yeah. Well, now put AI into the picture. No
AI.
sick days, no vacation, no periods, no none of that.
No lunch breaks.
None of that, bro.
No weekends.
Sleeping.
No
That's
weekends,
what I'm saying. It's
yeah.
just it's impossible to compete. So we better just learn programming.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, dude. I love you. I appreciate you.
Love you too, brother.
I gotta piss. Good seeing you. If this doesn't work, I'll kill myself.
Damn.